Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Evil John Sunday. I am your data science instructor. So I welcome you into this class 3. So in our previous class, we have covered the cell environment, the formatting, the data importing, introduction to data science, and a lot of areas that we have already covered. So I tell you that now you're no longer a newcoming data science, you're just an aspiring data science, right? So you are just a beginning data science, you're not just a layman data scientist. Please, you are getting some explanation and some understanding of becoming and start thinking like a data scientist on you already. So you are different from ordinary someone that is just beginning. At least you have 2 or 3 lessons under you. And I believe by the end of this class, you're going to add another layer to your understanding and knowledge, because knowledge is a stack. It's continual learning, continual stacking it. So let's proceed. In today's lesson, maths for data science, mean and median. Mean and median is one of the most important topic in data science. The reason is this: data science work with a lot of numbers that can range in millions, billions, right? Like in large organizations where they have a large numbers of workers, your MD can just walk in and ask you to tell him the salary take home of the workers. So you can't, you as a hiring manager, you can't just come and be telling him the workers. Let's just say if the organization has 1,000 workers or more, like large organizations, that's an insane. What will ND be doing with that kind of number of data? So he himself will be confused. He'll be asking, are you sure that this man knows what he's doing? So the easiest way to do it is to find what we call center of tendency, measurement of central tendency, which measure at the middle of the numbers and summarize it and give you a simple number that you can use and give to your MD. So let's proceed. So don't be afraid, because I know some of us who have not been used to maths. So when we call maths, this is why I've been running away from all these text stuff. This one I said that there is no maths in it. And they said that it's just pick and drop. Which one is maths again? So you shouldn't be afraid. This is just a primary school maths of plus and division. That's all we are going to be doing in this mean and median, just a primary school learning that we have learned. So just you plus it, you divide it. Simple. That's really maths. So forget about the maths we call it, right? So this is just the simplest statistics or maths, anyone you call them, because the mean and median is in maths, is in statistics as well. And data science is all about maths and statistics. So let's proceed. So by the end of this course, you'll be able to understand what mean is and how to calculate it, both by your hands and by Excel. You understand as well what median is and how to calculate it both by your hand and by Excel. Another one, you know when to use mean and when to use median, right? So at the end of it, you have a complete full hands-on data analysis project that is in Excel. In a second lesson, there is one there, which if I'm you, I'll start compiling it. So at the end of this class, you have 2 projects already, which no instructor does that. But I know why I'm giving you the projects, so that you get used to the project, that by the end of the monthly end of month project, we have one project that we do. By then you have already get yourself acquainted to the project already, so it won't be a problem. So let's proceed. Now, the module 1, which talks about why maths matters in data science. So imagine you as a hiring manager, and okay, I've already talked about this one earlier, so about the salary. So let's proceed. So I told you earlier that we'll call it measurement of central tendency. It will give you the central, like you have 1,000 salary mass, and then the answer it gives you the center of the measurements, right? So you don't have to just calculate everything and give the MD the measurements, central measurement. So let's proceed. Mean is an arithmetic average. So mean is the same thing as average, right? So I believe you can remember that in our last class we used average a lot, right? So it's just mean. It's just another name for it. So that's why I said you should not be afraid. We have been using it already, but just that we're going to be using it more only based on it on this projects, this class. So this is the formula equals to average brackets you want. So remember in our last class I told us that in every formula there must be equals to. It must start with equals to. So data is evenly spread with no extreme value. So data will be evenly spread with no extreme value. No extreme value is that no excess value that is so much, right? So median, this exact middle, the exact middle, just pick at the middle of the number value when data is sorted. So when you sort data, so for you to, before you calculate mean, it was a lot of people make mistake, although we will still talk about it later. Before you calculate mean, make sure you sorted the data to be in ascending descending order, the normal way it should be, that started like from 1 to 30 down. You sorted it like that, and is arranged, properly arranged, before you be able to calculate the mean. If not, you will get a wrong answer. You will see it later on. So the formula is equals to mean. Now bracket the range. Data has very high or very low outlier. That's if the data has very high or very low outlier. What we mean by outlier is like, let's just say we are talking about salary earners, and some majority of the, let's say we have 10, and majority is earning like, let's say 20,000. Now you will see one number that is earning like 100,000, 200,000. You see that the difference is so much. So if you calculate it with mean, you will get the wrong answer. You will see it later on. So this is where median came to play, right? You only pick the middle and give you the all. When other people are earning 500,000, you see one person earning 20,000, 30,000. Some people, the majority, something like that, it will be as if the majority are aiming higher, and we see people aiming low. It will affect the calculation. This is when you use median. Then what you will see it in view. So mean, let's give the definition. Mean, the mean is what people call the average. Like I told you earlier, you have used it many times. Even in our introduction, we talked about average as well. When a teacher says your average score is 75, they are talking about the mean, right? So in plain definition, all the values calculated, then divided by how many values they are. So it's just when you calculate all the values, like if it is 5, 7, 8, just calculate them together and divide them by the number count. That's 3. That's simply what the mean is talking about, right? Now the formula of the mean equals to sum all values plus count values. That's what I just told you. You calculate all the values and divide it by the number count. So this is our first example: market daily sales. A woman who sells tomato at Nnewi market recorded her sale in naira for 5 days, which is Monday. On Monday, he got she got 4,500. On Tuesday, she got 3,200. Wednesday, 5,800. And Thursday, 4,100. Friday, 6,400. Now, this is a step by step. So you add all 4,500 plus 3,200 plus 5,800 plus 4,100 plus 6,400, which gives us a total number of 24,400. 24,000. Now, in step 2, you count the number of values, which is, look at the way we count it. You count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which give us 5 counts. Now, what you do now is you divide it. 24,000 divided by 5, which give us 4,800, right? That's what it will give us. And our mean now will be the mean daily sale equals to 4,800. What does this tell us? Every single day, it tells us that if every single day has equal sales, each day would have bought in 4,800. This helps the trader plan for the future, estimate monthly income, and decide how much stock to buy. You can see, so when you understand that, when you calculate that equally, that every day you should have gotten 4,800. So this is how, if you are budgeting, this is where it helps you, that at least in your budget is upfront, that every day I'm going to be getting 4,800. This is the average. Although it's not that almost every day you're getting 4,800. There are some days you will not get, and there are some days you get higher. But this is the way we do our budgets, right? This way we do our budget. This is where this mean is very important, right? Now, this is the working of how to enter it. We have calculated it manually with our hand. Now, let's do it in our Excel. This is practical Excel. Enter the calculation mean in, like I said earlier, we'll do it in hands and do it in our Excel. So open your Excel sheet or Google Sheet, anyone you have. You follow these steps. Okay, let me open my own. So when you open it, you follow this step by step. I've already done my own. So because of the length of the video, I'm not going to be doing it for you. So follow the steps as I step for you, and I believe by now you should know how to be entering all this, remember how to creating it, and I've already simplified it for you. So now let me open my Excel. Okay, welcome back. So I believe you have open your Excel and entered it. I've entered my own, and I use created the mean as I was here, the mean cells, which gives us the same thing with what we got by calculating by hand, 4,800. Now I entered with the average formula, and it still gave us the same 4,800, which is here. Now to verify it manually, that this is the same thing with average, we use equals sum, open and close brackets, 2b is b6, divide counts, which is the same thing, 2b equals to b6. I click enter, so it will give you the same thing. Both b8 and b9 should be 4,800, 4,800. So calculate it manually and calculate it with Excel, give us the same thing. Now let's format it. You know, when you click it to be in 4,800. Now that when you go to your number here, you will see that it's in 4,000. So you go and click, there is one comma, which is here I'm pointing. You click on it, so when I change it to 4,400 normal count, which will make it look like money. You're counting money, right? So that's what you will do. This is formatting. We have done the formatting. So putting that comma make it easier to read. Now this hands-on practical, second hand of practical, you will do it yourself. You will calculate it. Although I've already calculated it here, just have to follow the step by step, and you will get. If you do everything you did, you will get the same thing I got. So you just start it, create a new sheet. And there's one thing I want to advise you: make sure you open only one sheet, book sheet, workbook. So be using all of them. Just be using sheets. You click on sheets, rename it, right? And ensure you are saving it. Because if you don't save it, if you are using Microsoft Excel, but if you're using Google Excel, it's automatically saved by itself. So if you're using Microsoft Excel, ensure you are saving it. So you create this table. This in your Excel, create it in your this data sheet. These data sets, create it in your cell. You create it. Then when you create it, you calculate the mean. The formula is already here. How to calculate it? You follow it step by step. Right? You're not going to be doing it because of our time. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to enter. Let me enter it before I come back. So you try and enter your own. Then when we come back, we'll be doing it together, right? So that it won't take much of our time. We only do the calculation together, but follow the steps and enter the data. Okay, welcome back. I have finished entering my own data set. So my own set is ready. Now let's do the calculation. Let's calculate the mean mass score. I click on cell A10 and let's type the class mean. This is A10. So let's type the class mean. Let's enter the formula in C10. I give us 78 points, for which is the same thing I got here already. So note, you can round it up into one figure, means which shows one decimal. So sometimes it can start showing 0.000. So you have to put a formula to round it up, which is this formula we have here. So it helps you to clean it and make it easier to read. So you put it in D, you type this formula, and if you put 1 to round it up to, if you put 2, round it up to here, if you put 3, but let's use 1, type it in D10. See, so I've round it up. So in E10, you type it as well. So it will round it up for you. Now in F1, you write status. In F1, I have to type in this formula to give you the status of those who pass. And you see, automatically, this is the power of Excel. So it automatically gives you itself, even before you enter, you click enter. So you click F2 again. Okay, it's already done it by itself. So automatically I've done it for us. So it means score of students who pass only average. If so, let's do another formula here. It means score of students who pass only. So let's check about the mean score of only students that pass. Now in A11, type mean pass only. So you can check the mean score of only students that pass. You can check as well for students that fail. It's just at the average of those that pass and those that sorry. Those that pass only. Now you use this formula. Type it at C11, which is here. You see the average. Giving us the average already, 84 points. So let's type the mean score of students who failed. So at A11, A12. Let's type this. So you see students who failed. Use this. Okay. Hmm. So it's the average is here. You don't finish. You can see that we have already gotten our average of those that fail. Now let's explain the average syntax explained. So equals to average if you put the range to check where you want to check if it is fail or pass. You put the range, or you put the condition. Yeah, you put the condition fail or pass. You put the range to check the fail or where you want. If it is in English, if it is in science, if it is in maths. So this is the range where you put it. So you are telling Excel, look at this column F for every row that says pass, include the matching mass score in the average. So this is what we're talking about. So you can see that, like I told you earlier, it shouldn't be. It's not something you should be afraid of. So it's just our normal primary school math. So forget the name. Now let's go to the next one, the median. So the median. What's the median? Right? So let's talk about the median. The median is the middle value when you arrange all your numbers from smallest to largest. Like I said earlier, half the value are below it and half are above it. So when you arrange it, right, you pick the two. The two are the middle. half is this side, half is this side, the two at the center. So in plain English explanation, imagine 7 students standing in a line, arranged from shortest to tallest. The middle height is the height of the student standing exactly in the middle. That's the number 3. 3 students are shorter, 3 students are taller. So when you remove 3 side, the center one, which is 4, right? That should be the median. So the key rules: sort first. Like I said earlier, don't just come and if it is scattered, we sort it first. Sort it first, then find the middle. So it's as simple as that. So how to find the median? There are 2 different rules depending on where you have an odd or even number or values. Pay close attention here. You see, this is where people get it wrong. So be careful and pay close attention. This is where many beginners got confused. When you have an odd number of values, the middle number is the median, right? Example, with 5 values, sort them first. Like this one is 12, 18, 25, 31, 44. It's sorted. It's sorted according to ascending order. Now, the middle position is 5 plus 1 equals to third value, which is 25. So it's equals to third value, which is 25. When you have an even number of values, find the 2 middle numbers and take their average. Example, with 6 values, sort them first. You sort them like this: 12, 18, 25, at 5 are in descending order. The 2 middle values are the third and fifth one, 25 and 31, which we do it like this: 25 plus 31 equals, divide by 2 equals to 56, divided by 2 equals to 28. So this is the 2 ways we can get it. So now let's work example to let you understand it further. A small business has 7 employers. Their monthly salary are as follows: the first one 45,000, the second one 52,000, the third one 38,000, the fourth one 1,120,000, the fifth one 48,000, the sixth one 50,000, the seventh one 41,000. Now you will sort it first. Sort it to make sure that start from small to large. You start 8, 41, 55, 45,000, sorry, 48,000, 52,000, 55,000, 120,000. So it's now sorted. Now you count the values, which is 7, which is odd. It's odd, it's not even, so it's odd. Now find the middle position. The middle position will be 7 plus 1 divided by 2, which equals to 4th position. The 4th value is 48. This is how to get it. If the number is odd, if it's an odd number, what you do is count the number plus 1 divided by 2, which is 4th. The 4th position is 48. You take 48. That's the answer. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. So the answer, the median salary will be 48,000. That's the way to get it. Now let's take another example for even. We have taken for odd for even. House price, even count. A real estate agent has 6 properties priced at million naira: 12, 8, 15, 9, 11, 25. Now let's sort it. Sort it out: 8, 9, 11, 12, 15, 25. Now you count it, it's 6 even. So the two middle values are the third and fourth, 11 and 12. Now what you do like this: you take the average, 11 and 12 average, divide by 2, which is 11.5, right? So the mean house average 11.5 million. That's it. Like I told you earlier, it's just a simple mathematics. Now let's hands-on analysis. Let's analyze with mean. So you enter everything as it appears. Let's analyze it. Now let me do this. Enter it in your spreadsheet. Let's analyze it the way it should be. You open another one. You have to open a fresh spreadsheet. Right? I have my one I'm working with already. So let's call it salary analysis. So this is where data science gets interesting and sweet, because you have to be analyzing everything. So you have to analyze everything. So let me change the name to salary analysis. Okay. Now let me enter employee's name. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So follow along. I'm supposed to pause this video, but let me just allow it to go, so that it won't consume much of our time. But let it go. So you enter it. Try and follow along, because the more you follow along, that's how to learn. So I'm doing it. Follow along. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to learn. You follow along. So that's why I provided the teaching material, so that it will be easier for you to follow along. And bet me, if you're following the materials along, doing exactly the way I lined it out, only preparing the materials take me a lot of time, because I have to specify it the way that even if you do not understand what I was doing on the video, you'll be able to read, because it's exactly how it is, and I have particularized it before writing it. So I followed it step by step in all my teaching. That's the way I do, so that to be easier for everybody, even a novice that doesn't know how to enter on a spreadsheet. You'll be able to particularize it, and if you're able to do it the way it is spelled out on the material, I bet you sorry, you will get everything I got. And that's the way we do. That's the easiest way to learn in tech, doing as I do. Right? So for you to learn in tech, you must have the nursery school mentality. And we do have that. Our auntie will tell us, do as I do. I do as I do. That's the easiest way to learn in tech. So we call it hands-on learning, not only theoretical. So if you watch the materials I prepared, it's hands-on learning, not just telling you theory, and when I will ask you to perform it, you'll be doing another thing. You'll see that you'll just be reading and wasting your time all this while. So which is what I don't like. So I like tomorrow when we meet and you will say, this is the guy that taught me data science, and we will greet. So, and this is exactly how I learned my own. So that's why I said it is the easiest way to learn. When you are learning with practicalizing everything, You see that learning comes easy. So I have done my, remember any of this thing you do, remember to color the header. It's very important. You must color the header. You must give it a feel. You must give it, okay, let me give it yellow color, slight yellow color, and set. Okay, it's, yeah, I've started filter on it. So let's continue because of our time. Now note, now this is another important place where beginners make mistake. Like I said earlier, you will see Emeka, the CEO, earns 500,000, much more than everyone else. This is called an outlier. It's called outlier because it's way too much out of what we. So watch what it does to the mean versus median. Now this is where you have to pay a close attention. Now let's calculate the mean. So in A10, let's find the mean. So watch closely, watch here carefully. So B10 will calculate the salary. So watch closely, see what is happening there. Now it become 100,000 something. Now let's calculate the median for you to see what the outlier does to it. Right? So just follow me. We put the median formula. So I have simplified everything for you. So if you are copying this thing, and if you know that there is a space, so if you want to close it, you see. So in case if it's giving you trouble, you have seen the difference. Now let's count how many employees and below. Okay, below mean. You see, one is below mean. Now let's count the number below mean. So these formulas we're using, please, I've told you earlier on, I'll still give you more still coming. 6. So the average is 6. Let's count the one that's and below median. So don't just be studying it, make sure you're doing it. So as you're doing it, it's help you to memorize the formula. So it's 4, right? It's 4. Exactly half the numbers that is. This is the next picture. So this is what, when there is an outlier, this is where median came to play, right? So what's just happened? The mean salary is 135,625, but 6 out of 8 employer earn less than that, which is wrong. One very half earning CEO put the average up and made it look like everyone earns well. So when you are judging it, if there is an outlier, you see that it push it up, that 500,000, push it up. If you are checking it now, trying to understand whether everybody is earning well, you will see that it will not give a true picture. Why the median salary is 880,000, exactly half and more. So exactly half and more. So which is a fair balance. Half and less is a fair balance. This is the real story. This is exactly why governments and economists use median when talking about household incomes. The mean lies when they are outlier. So when there is an outlier, it pushes the other side. This is where now pay close attention. This is where this thing is. When to use which. So if you understand this well, and know what is outlier when there is an outlier. That is when there is a rich people on the other side and poor. So if the rich, they will change when you use the mean. The rich people will change it and it look as if everybody is living fine, while people are not living fine. So this is where you have to understand when to use which one. This is one of the most important judgment calls in data science. Knowing which one to use separates a good analyst from a poor one. So this is where you have to pay a close attention to know when to use when, right? Okay, let's come the outlier concept. An outlier is a value that is extremely different from the rest of the data. Outliers has a huge impact on the mean, but almost no impact on the median. So whenever there is an outlier, you have to be careful. For example, two neighborhoods, same number of houses. Neighborhood A, house price, 1,000,000, 12, 14, 11, 13, 15, 12, 14 as well. So neighborhood A, the mean equals to 13 million, median 13 million. Both tells the same story. Now it's the same story, so you have no problem. Header is fine. Neighborhood B, house price, 12, 14, 11, 13, 15, 12, 850. The mean, 132 million. Median, 13 million. Mean is completely misleading. Use median. One mention worth 850 destroyed the mean. The median stays at 13 and tells the truth, right? So this is where the problem is. So if you understand this concept now, know when to use median. If there is a huge outlier, which I have told you people, if outlier is just an extreme, like just say you have seen 5, 6, 10, and all of a sudden you see an outlier that have 400, 500, you know, it will change everything. If you use mean, it won't work. So you need a median. So decision table, this is a decision you have to have in your hand. It will help you a lot in making decision. This, most especially this, the outlier concept, you have it in your hand handy. Now decision table, which will help you in future. You have to write it down, mark it out. This situation. Data is evenly spread, no extreme outlier. This is where you use mean. Why? Uses all data points more precisely. Example, total scores between 50 and 95 daily temperature. So you see they are within the same range, right? Data has very high extreme values. Use median, not pulled by extreme. It's not pulled by extreme. Incomes, house prices, wet data. So this is what you have in mind. Now another one is data has very extreme value, median. Same reason. Response time, wait time, right? So have this in mind. Survey rating, 1 to 5 stars. Use median. Median of ranked data is not meaningful. Customer satisfaction score, right? Controlled test score, all valued balanced. Mean, use mean. More mathematical information, use exam scores in a structured test. So these are there are a lot of examples, but with this one, let's as a starter, let's continue with this. As you go further, you will begin to understand when to use which. So quick mental test. Before you choose mean or median, ask yourself these 3 questions. Sort your data. Is any number far away from the rest? If yes, use median. Is more of the data benched on one side with a long tail? If yes, use median. Are all the values relatively close together? If yes, use mean. So when the value this is example, when the value has a relative close together number, use mean. When the value is too long, there is a bench, that is one is drawing it to one side, that's when you use median. So have this in mind. Now this is the project. So I'm not going to do this project for you. You are the one to do it and add it compile it, like I said earlier. We're going to use it in as your project portfolio, which we do earlier. So let me read it out for you. Full class projects, Navy Tech student analysis. You have been hired as a data analyst for Navy Tech student academy. Sorry, the principal has given you exam results from 12 students and asked for a statistic summary. Your job is to use the mean and median to answer important questions about students' performance. Create a new data set. Open a new spreadsheet. Like I told you earlier on, don't be opening new Excel. Just make sure that you open one. You name it practical or whatever you name it, or the one you have been using already. You can name it to practice or project, anything. Now you only be opening sheets, a new sheet, and be renaming that sheet so that all your work will be together. And ensure you are saving it. If you are using Microsoft, ensure you are saving it. Or if not, you will lose your job, and it's very painful. It has happened to me when coming up. So I wouldn't like it to happen to any one of us. It's very painful, honestly. Doing something is not easy, most especially when the class is fast coming. So create a new sheet, name it Navy Tech, and remember our naming, Navy Tech projects, right? So you enter this data sheets. So remember, you're going to debold the header and color it field color. So make sure you always do it in your data. If the practice that you have to learn, that's why you have to start learning it at front here. So you take the score, right? You enter everything as it is. This is a project. You see, you look at your tax, which almost everything we have done it here already. So create cell 11. Click on cell 11. Type total average. So everything is already done for you here. But the reason why I want you to do it on your own is that once you're doing it, even though I've already done it, once you do all these things like this, it helps stack knowledge on you. So do it is a project that you're going to be submitting. Yes, you calculate the mean. Almost everything, I have done everything for you, but I want you to do it on your own. I have my reason, which that's the way we roll. So I have done it, I have tested it, it's already checked. So you do it, everything is spelled out step by step for you, right? Now, write your interpretation. Writing your interpretation is not optional. In real data science work, the numbers alone mean nothing. You must explain what they mean in plain English. This is the most important skills you will develop in this course. So writing the interpretation is very important step. So which is this 7. At least that's why I've already done it for you. Right? You write the interpretation and then you interpret it, which is, if anybody is hiring you, this is what they look at. So I want you to practice these things and write it out. So you'll be showing it to your hiring manager tomorrow, right? So don't say just you won't do it on your own. Me that I've done it on my own, I'm still using it. And this is one of the projects I did earlier on. So it's very important to start learning it now, and the interpretation, right? So where I put, like here I put subjects, use it. Put your own subjects as well. Put here results, fill it. Then if you are filling it, so that let's say look as if you are the one that do it, you're going to, this is a placeholder, that's what we call it. Like here, let me say, let's just say in A30, write subject. You remove this subject and this column braces, remove it completely. Well, let's say you are using English. Say English was the highest score with a class mean of, you put the number, remove this result and the placeholder, so that anybody, this bracket, anybody that sees it, we know that you're the one that did it. So don't go and just put the number and leave the column braces. So those people that are looking at your project, they are already ahead of you. So when they see something like that, they know that it's somebody that did it and copied it, right? So let's move on. These are formulas you have to get used to, right? So go through the formulas. Now that you have understand the mean and median, here are 4 more formulas that work alongside them. You will use all of this career. In all your career, you're going to use this, which is mode, right? The most common value. Mode is the most common value. Find the mode. Find the values that appear most. That is the value that appear most, right? This is the most one to find in your data. If you survey 50 people and ask their age and 22 appeared 10 times, mode will return 22. So the one that appears once or appears higher is the mode. So to use it, use when you want to know the most popular, the one that applies, the ones that are more popular than others or most frequently valued. This is what normally used in data science, most frequently valued. Example, equals to mode D2 is to D13. So it returns the one that appears most. Now standard STV, standard EV, standard derivation, which is ST equals to STDEV, standard derivation range, tells you how spread our value, tells you how spread out your values are around the mean. A small standard derivation means the value are close together, right? These are things you have to understand. This standard derivation is very important. So it helps to tell you whether the mean is closer. So student performance consistently. A large standard derivation means the value are spread far away. Big difference between students, right? So this, I'm not supposed to be telling you this, right? But I know how, so that it will help you to build faster knowledge about the science. So use when you need to measure consistency and variability. That's when you use it. For example, the STD formula 2D is to 13. A small result mean consistent performances, right? Large and small, finding range values equals to large range. So when you want to find the large range, large finds the ninth biggest value. That's when you want to find the value, the large value that is different from others, right? So these formulas are things you have to write down. Small, find the ninth smallest when you want to find the smallest or the largest value. So the number is just, the n is just number. That's the number you have to just put. Don't be confused. Use when you need the second best. When you need the second best, the third best, or second worst. When you want to find the first best, the second best. No, in a number of 1 million this thing are there or 100,000, and they're finding numbers will be difficult. So when you just put it, the range, just put equals to small. They are the smallest. You put the range here. You put the number you want to find. You want to find the smallest. You put 1. You want to find the second smallest, the third, the fifth. You put it here. If it is large, the same thing, and it will just bring it out for you without you going through millions of data. Now the percentile, where does a value range, this is another topic as well. Finding the score below which known percentage of your data. Find the score below which k% of your data falls. For example, the 90th percentile is the 90th, the score that's 90% of students score. That's what it means. Use heavily in education and HR. Use when you want to compare individual performances to the whole group, right? When you want to know where the performance of that person, a single particular person, to other group. For example, percentile D2 is D13, 0.9 score. So this 0.9 is just 90. So don't get confused. So 0.9 is just 90. If you want to take 50, you just put 0.5. That's the way we enter it. Score that 90% of the class fell below. Right? So now quick references of formulas, all formulas from this class. So these are formulas from this class. I've outlined it for you. So you have to go through it, write them down. I don't have already write them down as well. The rounded up. Number 7, common mistake. These are common mistakes you should avoid using mean when data has extreme outlier. So I've already said this. So common mistakes. Go through these mistakes. A summary and homework. Now this one is your own work. So don't be confused. The earlier one is a project. You need to do it, right? You need to do it and allow me to go through it and see whether you get it all right. Now this what's the summary? This is what we covered, right? Now this is your homework for beginner. A food vendor recorded weekly sales in Naira for 6 weeks. 15,000, 22,000, 18,000, 19,000, 16, 250. The last week was Christmas rush. Right? Calculate the median. So in this one, there is an outlier, right? So you know what to do. I'm not going to tell you which one better represents a tropical week. Type your explanation and a note directly in your Excel file. So the second one is intermediate. Create a data set of 10 employers. So you create it. So in our upcoming class, so you create it, and this is where we're going to end this class. Make sure you do the assignment. It's very important. So the third one is in your own words, written into a cell sheet, into a cell in Excel. Explain the difference between mean and median to someone who have never used Excel. Use a Nigerian explanation in your explanation. There is no right or wrong answer. Write what you actually understand, right? So these are the three assignments. So I'm going to meet you in the next class. Please do that project. It will help you in future, right? If not now, it will help you in future. It will help you to understand how to interpret data. Please just try and do it to help you to understand how you are going to be interpreting data in the future. Remember, whatsoever the way you learn now is what you'll be doing your work. So that's why I want you to understand how to interpret data. There are a lot of preparing these documents take me a more than enough time, even more time than producing the video, because I have to go through the practicals. I have to go to particularize all of them to make sure that I follow the step by step. And after following it, I started writing it out to make sure that everything aligns, so that for you not to get a wrong answer when you are doing it. So you can say that it takes me a lot of time, which is not every instructor will go through that. But some will just come up on the video and be teaching you, which you won't get everything. But here now I'm giving you every step by step. You can see that it takes more than enough of my time. So please, you yourself, take it serious. Thank you, and see you in the next class.